Chapter 3, Section 7. This section we're going to be working on mixed numbers and improper fractions. Starting on page 178. Make sure you have your book. We have a chart on the bottom of page 178. The very first one, they give us a fraction sentence with 4 fourths, 4 fourths, and 1 fourth. That's 2 wholes, so the mixed number would be 2 and 1 fourth. Improper fraction, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 gives us 9 fourths. 17 fifths. I know that 5 fifths is a whole, plus another 5 fifths, that gives me 10 fifths. Oops. Another fifth, that gives me 15 fifths. Now I need 2 more here. So that would give me 3 and 2 fifths. If the mixed number is 2 and 2/3, I'm going to have 3/3. That's 1. Another 3/3. That's where I get the 2. Plus 2/3. Add up your numerators. 8/3. One more. 29/8. Denominator tells us is 8. And for a whole, I need 8/8. Get a smaller pen. Plus 8/8. That gets me up to 16. Another 8. I'm up to 24. The last part would be 5/8. I have 3 wholes plus 3 and 5/8. Okay. I'm on page 179 now. Problem number 4. We are turning these mixed numbers, the improper fractions into mixed numbers. All they are division problems. 6 goes into 25 4 times. That takes me up to 24. I have 1 left over. Keep your denominator the same. C, working down. 5 goes into 42 8 times. That takes me up to 40. 8 and 2 fifths. E, 34/8. How many times does 8 go into 34? 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. That means I have 2 left over. 4 and 2/8. I'm not worried about reducing right now. And then G, 45 divided by 4. 4 goes into 45 11 times. That takes me up to 44. 1 left over. 4 stays the same. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try these, and then I'll write the answers for you. Okay, your work is done on those 4 problems. For 22/9, you should have 2 and 4/9. For 34/7, that gives you 4 and 6/7. 84/10 is 8 and 4/10. Bonus points, 8 and 2 fifths. 28/3 would be 9 and 1/3. Number 5, locating points on the number line. Let's just do A, B, C, and D. A, greater than 1, less than 2, looks pretty close to the middle to me. 1 1/2. The improper fraction for 1 1/2 is 3/2. B is greater than 2. It's less than 1/2. I'm going to go with 2 and 1 fourth. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 9 fourths. Make that better. C, less than 3, but close to 3. About 2 and 7/8. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 is 23. 23/8. And then D, greater than 3, less than 4, more than 1/2. Make your answer reasonable. I'm going to go with 3 and 3 fourths. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15 fourths. Let's do a couple of the problems on page, can't see it, 180. So page 180. 3/4 plus 2/3. 3/4, closest to 1. 2/3 is a half. A good estimate for this is 1.5. Now let's solve it for reals. 3/4 plus 2/3. I need a common denominator. Common denominator for 3 and 4 is 12. Right. I'm going to start with my bottom fraction. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Whatever I do the bottom, got to do the top. 3 times 3 is 9. Denominator stays the same. Add my numerators. I get 17. 17/12 equals 1 5/12, which is pretty close to 1.5. Is it less than a half or more than a half? Less. Good. 7/8 plus 5/6. That's 1. That's 1. Your answer should be close to 2. But if you notice, it's going to be less than because both of your fractions are less than 1. So your estimate's going to be higher than your real answer. 7/8 plus 5/6. Common denominator. 48 works. There is a smaller one. You can't think that it's 24. 48 would work. I'm going to use 24. Starting on the top this time. 8 times 3 is 24. 7 times 3 is 21. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. 21 plus 20 is 41. 24ths. 24 will go into 41 one time. I have 17 left over. Your answer is 1 17/24. All right, jump to page 181. Now we're going to write each mixed number as an improper fraction. Denominator times the whole number, number sign, not hashtag, plus numerator. Just a reminder. So for A, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17, 17/5. C, 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. Keep the denominator same, 7. E, 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25, 25/3. Once again, pause the video and complete B, D, and F, and I'll have the answers up there. Pause it. I know you didn't pause it, now pause. All right, the answer to 4 and 5/8, that would give you 37/8. For D, it's 27/5. And for F, it is 56/9. Okay, denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. Keep the denominator the same. Okay, jump all the way to page 185. We'll do the word problems in class. But on 185, we're going to practice regrouping fractions. So the first number is 8 2/3. Don't worry about the writing down here. 8 2/3, we're going to regroup it to 7 and so many thirds. So let's start with, let's draw 8 2/3. That means you have to draw 9 rectangles, because this is my 8, and they're all divided into thirds. So sketch those in. And then this one is 2/3. Make sure you have that sketched in. These are all thirds. We have 8 holes. So it gives me, here's my 8, here's my 2/3. We talked a lot about this in class a lot. This is 3/3. So if I don't count this last rectangle here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 holes, and then you have to count your thirds. I have 3 thirds here, plus 2 more, 7 and 5 thirds. 8 2/3 is 7 and 5/3. Let's try another one. If you can get this concept down, it's going to help you when you subtract fractions rather than using improper fractions. It's pretty helpful if you can get this understood. So 3 and 1/3. Here, let's draw it over here. So I'm going to need 4 boxes for 3 1/3. They're all thirds. This one's shaded in completely. And here's my hole. Okay? So this is 3 1/3. We're going to take it down to 2. So here's 2 right here. How many thirds do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not your bell. 3 and 1/3 is 2 and 4/3. Have you figured out the shortcut yet? 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9 and 4/5. Look at B. 9 and 4/5. That's going to go to 8. 5/5 make a hole. So I just took a hole from the 9. 5/5. I have 4/5 here. That gives me 9/5. Look at D. 4 and 3/7. I'm going to take one hole away, so that gives me 3. 7/7 is that 1. I already have 3/7. 3 and 10/7. 4 and 3/7 is 3 and 10/7. All right, let me get rid of some of this so you can actually see it. 3 and 1/4. I'm going down to 2, so that means I took 1 away. I'm going to write 1 as 4/4. If I already have 1/4, add 1 more 4/4, that gives me 5/4. We will practice this more in class. So this was all on for section 3.7. So we'll practice regrouping fractions in class and also do the word problems. More fun with fractions. Yes, good job.